Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I am going to show you a PS4 game that references MS-DOS. This game is called Fallout 76 and they reference MS-DOS. And this is on the computers, this is not on the gameplay. So this is a game that takes place basically in the past. And they have a bunch of computers that look like IBM machines. So what I'm going to show you up next is I am going to show you what I am talking about. Alright, so as you can see here, I am approaching in the game the computer itself. And as you can see, that was a screensaver for the type of event that's going on. Now, as you can see, the monitor is green. Why is it green? That is a monochrome monitor. And what it is basically one color. And basically, everything on this is text-based. Now, it doesn't make a reference totally to MS-DOS, but it does. So the reason I'm showing this is because I realized it was making a reference to MS-DOS. So what you see here is everything loading and all that, and basically it's referencing stuff basically in the 80s is what it's doing. So as you can see here, there's a game that loaded, and this is making fun of a different game, but this is how things were back then, and it makes it very, 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 very enjoyable to see. So as you can see here, I'm going through all the options, and when I select it, it displays it. It tells me what I need to do, just like in MS-DOS. So what I'm going to show you next is a kiosk. And yes, there were kiosks that ran DOS. So the next computer is a total kiosk, and there's going to be two of them. So as you can see, this is a kiosk. And when the character walks up to it, it's in green. The screen is in green, the monochrome green. When I select it, it goes to black and white. What I've encountered, it was either black and white or the green, whatever. You can't switch between the two. So what I'm going to show you next is actually the kiosk functioning. Okay, so as you can see, the character is approaching the kiosk. Now, that keyboard has no letters on it because it's its own branded keyboard. You notice how the screen changed from the green to black and white. So it's going through a database. I had to register for something. And it's going through the database. So there's going to be a list of people, as you can see right now. Those are not real people. That is for the game itself. But when you go through it, that's the database. So this is showing you of what databases were like in the DOS era, MS-DOS era. So I go through this a few times, and you can see that going through it is giving me certain info. And there's a few more computers in this game. Now, what you're going to see later is one that's hooked up to a dot matrix printer. And when you click print, it sounds just like a dot matrix printer. So that'll be later in this video, but that is really, really cool. So I'm going through the database, and then I exit out. So on to the next machine. Alright, so I'm at this other computer. This has a round monitor. And when you approach it, it looks like something that it looks more like an AC vent than a monitor. So when I approached this computer, I was just like, huh, what is this? What does it do? And you can see the monitor stuff on the back. So I'm looking at this, and when you go up to it, oh, it's a monitor. And there's other databases here, as you can see, and I'm analyzing something. So it has a database for analyzation here. And I'm going through it, and down at the bottom, just like the other ones, it tells me, hey, look, this substance is okay, this substance is not. Now the final computer here, this is going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to go through the database first, and then you're going to hear the printer print. Alright, so I'm at a computer hooked up to a dot matrix printer. And yes, this printer is actually functional. And what I'm doing now is I'm setting it up in the game, and then I go to the computer. That is the operating system name for the game. They can't call it MS-DOS, otherwise they would get in trouble. But you can see that I'm actually setting it up. And I go into the game, and I go to the database. So before I continue my explanation, you can see it starting to print. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a clip in here shortly of that computer actually printing.
Chloe's my pet. Or maybe I'm hers. I'm not sure.
Now that's cool because it's an actual sound of a dot matrix printer printing. So they used it and recorded it. It as you can see, it was doing the exact same thing a real dot matrix printer does. So anyway, with that said, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications.